God forbid a black woman caught resting.
This is a get and grab culture. You know, get on up there and do what you gotta do.
Right? Yeah, we're standing here breathing for what?
It's like, how do you play when you pray?
Ah, how do you play when you're praying?
Write that shit down.
I mean, I guess you were saying you wanted to make sure you watched the last, like the conversation before this. So like, where's your head at now, having seen the conversation after
like,
some time away from it?
Yeah, I was like, in my imagination, like it flowed a lot slower, but I was like, oh my gosh, that was an amazing and deep conversation.
Yeah, I took some time away from it too. I hadn't listened to it. Like usually I'm so excited after a conversation, I listen to it right away. But our conversation took place during finals week. So even though I wanted to, I didn't have time to. So like literally we had the conversation and then I paid no attention to it for 2.5 weeks. And I only just listened to it over the weekend and was like, wow, we talked about a lot of deep shit.
Yeah, it was something. It seems like it was a lot of stuff too that I needed to, you know, I was in the moment then with things that were happening. And then there's been, you know, life hard and fast since then. And then I needed to hear some of those things again. Like it felt grounding.
Yes.
You know, just the things that we together. Yeah.
I needed to hear those things again too, and didn't realize how much I needed to hear them again until I was hearing them.
Yeah.
That's wild how that happens. I love that. Love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did do, interestingly enough, I did do the writing piece though before I listened to the conversation again. Like, so yeah, you did too. So I did the writing piece at like 11:30 at night at my mother-in-law's house, like hunched over my phone in the dark, trying not to wake up Simone because we were sleeping in the same room. And the moment struck where I was like, oh yeah, I want to do that now. Because I wasn't tired and whatever, but I didn't want Mo to see the phone. So I was like, I didn't want the light to wake her up. Oh, Lord. But yeah, so I did it. And it sounds like you did too. Do you want to, how do we want to share these with each other? Do you want to?
Yeah, I was going to say, I did mine right before listening to.
That's cool. So right beforehand again. And I haven't looked at mine since. So it'll be interesting now to like look at it again now in light of the conversation.
Let's see, what does it say?
Yes.
Well, let's see. How could we? Do you want to just read them to each other? I mean, we could do that.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I feel like mine might be very short, but
mine is short too.
Oh, good.
And I will say that then I listened to our conversation, and all of these other pieces of the same thing started to come to mind almost as questions or as prompts. But I didn't. You know, I wrote them down, the prompts, but I didn't, you know, write as I was listening. But I was like, oh my gosh, yeah.
There's more. Yeah.
Yeah, there's more.
Cool.
So now that my computer has restarted, let me. Okay. All right. Flip a coin? No, we could just.
I mean, we could. Do you want it? We'll do. That's our like equitable way to do this. Hang on. Let me find. I bet I have a quarter. Just.
And of all things, flipping a coin. I mean, I'm doing a Black Women and Money workshop that started yesterday.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, oh my God, we're gonna flip a coin.
It's a penny too. I don't have a quarter in there. It's a penny. All right. What do you want? Like, so heads means who goes?
Okay, so I'll take tails.
You'll take tails? Okay. I'm not good at this. I'm like, oh God, oh Jesus. Well, it is heads.
So that's you. It's all you.
That means I go. Okay. All right. So here's that was delightful. Okay. So the prompt, how do you play when you're prey? And then I used that Nina Simone Sinner Man as my catalyst. Yeah. So the line that I landed on was all on that day. So I actually used that text to open my thing. So, and actually it was 1:21 a.m. So not 11 p.m., 1 a.m. wrote this. Oh, God. On January 2nd. All right, here we go. All on that day, there were waves crashing, seagulls cawing, evidence of the cheese puffs cheekily fed to them not too long before. She knew they were going to get in trouble for it, but she did it anyway. It was worth it to her, the flash of unnatural color on the rocks, the sound of her mother's voice saying her name, exasperated and exhaustedly amused, but determined to hold her accountable for creating an unnecessary mess. Natasha. She heard it in her mind, flashing forward without remorse, arm to the sky as the gulls dove again and again downward towards her outstretched fingers, holding the cheese puffs high, grinning from ear to ear, then running for the awning of the trailer, giddily, to eat what puffs remained, read a book or two, and watch as orange shit rained down from the sky. So that, that was a story about my sisters and I feeding the seagulls cheese puffs on our camping trips to the North Shore of Lake Superior.
Oh, wow. That's so beautiful. I could see you like little bitty you, like running around.
Like, oh my God, they're eating out of my hands. And later they're going to shit orange.
Yes. And the beautiful contrast that will make.
Mm-hmm. On these gray-green rocks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah. In writing it, I remember sort of thinking to myself that it was interesting that that's where my brain went in terms of that question of how to play when you're prey, because I wasn't necessarily specifically prey in that moment, but the feeling of anticipating punishment or something negative and being like, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's the beautiful thing about jump starters is that you might have, so you have the prompt, which is supposed to be minimal intention.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we kind of like create a little bit of intention in our heads.
Yes.
And then what's beautiful about the jump starting is that it'll take you whatever is most primed as the authentic truth inside of yourself. So you might end up expressing something that you're like, oh, that's where I'm at with play and pray.
Yeah. I would never have thought of that moment.
Yeah.
If not for that jump start. Yeah.
I know. And so something similar happened with me,
Yeah.
so like I wasn't, so I'll just read it to you.
Okay.
So I decided to jump start, with the words and with music, too. So without asking myself what the music was going to be, which is kind of risky.
Yeah.
So the poetry jump start, I put my finger down and it said something like the blue sky. And then I went to Pandora and I did have like Tracy Chapman radio up. And The Promise is what started.
Okay.
And so then this is what I wrote today. Looking up at her blue dome, having traveled far with nothing but what I can carry and a carry-on bag and a backpack. I have at 54 found her again, returned to the top of a mountain alone, filling a space in my heart that was the little girl that climbed mulberry trees alone. I found my way back at age 22 when my son ran around in the only wide open pasture in Daniel Boone Forest where the cow mooed because he got too far away from me. It is always warm in the day on the mountain and dark at night, truly dark until the moon comes roaring over the horizon and I feel her heart beat up through my tennis shoes, through the bone straws of my ancestral female long legs. I always long for her in the toil of my day, to see the way her mountain curves, frown and smile, and I have her memory of pebbles found and memories of eagles' nests to hold me until I find my way back to her. She is always waiting for me. There is no timeline, no judgment, no lack of promises. I just have to vow to come for her when I need her, or to one day just let go of the toiling and go live there, where she holds this place for me in her heart, where a little piece of my heart lives and does not find full rhythm unless I am with her. And so that's what That's what came out. It's making the top of my head tingle. And I realized that it was mostly like the word play, and then sky. And
Yeah.
what it brought up for me was first, like, I don't know if you know, in October, I went on a month-long journey of just, not being in my previous home, not getting
Yeah.
a new home, and just going.
Yeah.
I kept, every time that what I kept doing it wasn't part of the plan, but what I kept doing is I kept seeking the top of the mountain over and over, and every time it was just so like, I was one with with everything. And I was like, if this is how I'm about to go, I'm good. Cause it was so, every time it was just that wordless, spiritual yumminess, Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like I'm struck by the
Yeah.
nature of what is and what will be anyway,
Hmm.
in there as well. Like I found her again. I found her again. It just is, and it works, and I'm here.
Yeah.
And like that sort of in a way answers that question of how with you just do.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's innate, you know,
Yeah, it's
if you
there.
allow it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you just allow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It just
love that. Go ahead. I was
I
going
was just gonna say it's sort of neat how, like, in a way, what we both wrote, they're very simpatico to each
I
other.
know. That's what I was going to say, that there's sky and there's nature and that play is nature and both of
Yes!
yeah.
How do you play when you're prey? You just do.
Just do. There's birds in both of ours.
Yeah.
And there's the seagull and the eagle's nest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A
Oh, it's
cow.
wild. There's a cow. Oh, that's great. I love it. Uh, so
uh,
now the singing piece, the play piece there. So you provided the writing prompt for us,
yeah.
the jumpstart idea, and so I've been thinking about the music prompt, and there are two ways we could go,
Yeah.
because in our last chat you mentioned singing as conversation,
Mm.
and then there's also singing as like travel.
Mm.
Yeah. And so I think that whatever we do will probably involve both of those things.
Yeah.
I can start us in either direction. Like we can start with the idea of travel together, or we
Yeah.
can start with turn taking and conversation. And eventually, I imagine both those things will merge. But
I'm excited for whatever. I don't know what any of that means, and I'm just ready to do it.
well, let me put it another way. Do you want to start singing at the same time, or do you want us to go back and forth when we start?
Oh, that's pretty cool. Let's start singing at the same time.
Okay. All right. So this the origin of this experience for me was from a small women's choir. We called ourselves a consciousness choir in New Orleans. After the 2016 election, a bunch of white ladies got together and were like, we want to do something.
Yeah.
And just started this little choir, and eventually a couple of us black ladies just sort of trickled in. So so this was one of the experiences we used as a warm-up to just connect with each other. And
Yeah.
I've since turned it into a music therapy experiential, because I think it's a great way just to get people situated in their voices and in communion with other people. So, okay, so the way that it works is that we take a breath together,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll start with just exhaling in a sigh that doesn't have a pitch to it, just breathing together and exhaling a sound together.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we feel like we've gotten comfortable, we might do that a couple of times, we'll decide, okay, on our next breath, we'll exhale on a sustained pitch, whatever syllable comes out, whatever note comes out, and we're just going to aim to find each other.
Yes.
And that the finding each other might be the same note. It might be two notes that are in harmony with each other. Doesn't matter. Whatever finding each other means.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to travel together.
Yeah.
Just wherever your voice goes, my voice goes. They might flow in and out of each other. There might be a lead and follow situation. There might be a parallel situation. Audio delay might make things very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea is just that we'll ground ourselves in breath and sound and then just find each other.
Yeah.
In the music.
That's very similar to something that I've done before and I really love. I mean, I think it's the same thing with different words, and it's I just can't wait for whatever, because I love the discovery in it.
Yeah, because there can be words in this too. Like, you open with whatever syllable comes out of your mouth, but words might emerge, and we'll just see what happens. Yeah. So, hey, okay, so we've got 2 recordings going now, and then your phone, so that you can have your headphones and a decent mic. So we've got the best of both worlds, because the other headphones weren't giving us the best voice sound for you. Your laptop is giving us that, but then your phone is allowing you to use these headphones that you need to use. So, okay, I think this works. But yeah, so now we have the mysterious presence of the voiceless Zelda's iPhone. But I kind of dig it. Visually, this will be very exciting. It's like the third participant in this collaboration is our song.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's do this.
And I might intentionally stop looking at you because there's a delay.
Yep, I might also do the same.
Yeah.
So there might be moments where eyes wander and wander. Yes. It's a little weird, I'm sure. Yeah, so you're like, I'm going to take the glasses off. I don't even.
You're just a fuzzy ball now.
Let's actually, here, I'll join you in that. Can't see shit. Both of us are fuzzy balls now. And yeah, so we're just going to take a breath and exhale on your side. Yeah, on whatever that is. This is empty now. I had another Zoom call before you and I drank it all. But we'll be all right. Okay, so we'll just do deep breath in and exhale on a sigh, whatever sound comes out.
Okay.
Do another one. What do we think? Another sigh, or is this the one?
Another.
Let's do it. Oh, that was a good one. I think I need another one.
Okay. Yeah.
Ready? Hey. I love how it was like so slow and ethereal, but we're both just like, hey.
That was beautiful. It ended up like some kind of greeting.
It did. It did. And it feels like it's funny because it feels like a greeting that needs to be answered.
I know.
How do we want to answer it?
It was funny. We were doing that at the end. I started to go, it's me.
Hi. Oh, Lordy.
Maybe some kind of way that our two playful selves get to meet. You know, like the you on the beach and the me on the mountain.
Mm.
I don't even know what I'm saying, but something. And it's so this delay thing. It's like I'm talking and then I'm hearing myself.
That's funny. Yeah, because you've still got sound coming back at you.
Yeah, so the sound that like I hear myself in the room, and then the phone is about a second and a half behind.
Ooh, that's a big
Yeah.
delay.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking now, do you want to switch your audio? Like, do you want to come out on the phone and just come back into the room?
Come back into the room from Echo Land,
From
which is
Echo
what
Land.
happens on the top of a mountain.
Ah!
That
That is what happens on top of a mountain.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm having a thought.
What's your
Of
thought?
how to tie all of this together, because you talked about the like me on the beach and you on the mountain. I feel like, do you want to do some like spoken word, like just paint splatter?
Oh.
Like let's like our so here's a question. Who are you on the mountain? Are you adult Zelda? Are you, because I know I'm kid me on the beach. Who are you on the mountain? Are you all of you?
I'm all of me.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm completely all of me both times, because there's me on the mountain at 22. There's me on the mountain a couple of months ago. And each time what I felt most tapped into was playful child me.
Yeah. So what if playful child you and playful child me?
Yeah.
What would we, so I just recently finished watching season 1 of the HBO show His Dark Materials, which is based on the is it Philip Pullman novel? Okay, that's all right. But so the idea that's coming to my mind is that there's like portals between parallel universes. And so if we imagined that both of us were in our locations, talking to each other through our portals, what would we say? What would we say?
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. And that's like the conversation that you were saying, but it's in a different sort of way.
It is. It's a different format completely, and one that I think is outside of both of our usual spheres. Yeah.
I like that. And then what if we pushed it even further?
Okay.
If we're going to go outside of our usual places.
Yeah.
And I talk to you in song, which is making me nervous to think about already. And you talk to me in words.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh my God. Should I talk to you in spoken word, or should I pass you notes? Should I write?
Oh, maybe spoken word.
Spoken word. Okay. So, all right. So you're going to speak to me in song, and I'm going to speak to you.
I'm like, what the hell am I going to say?
Word. I know, right? I'm trying to think, what am I going to say? Like maybe, okay, let's start the same way we did the vocal exercise. Just take some breaths together.
Okay.
And then when the moment feels right, one of us is just going to start.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I feel like I need to get my feet flat underneath me.
That's what I just did too.
I know. It's like, let me ground myself.
Put them on the ground.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Deep breath.
I have questions, little girl.
What do you want to know? I'm right here.
How long are your legs and how long is your hair?
My legs are very long. I'm very tall. Mommy says I have to wear long shorts because of my long legs. My hair, though, is not as long as I want it to be. My sister's hair is longer.
I have another question, little girl.
I'm ready.
How big is your mother's smile?
Today, it's small. Like she's trying to hide it. But I see it. I see it.
How wide are your eyes and what do they see?
My eyes are wide open, even though they don't always look that way. I see orange poop. And I put it there in a way. I made that happen.
What else do you see that is the color orange?
Ooh. I see my shoes. I have orange flip-flops. I didn't. My sister lost a flip-flop in Lake Superior the other day, and she cried, and I got it back. Yeah. What color are your shoes?
My shoes are gray and black and tattered from climbing the mountain. And I am still wearing them every day because I like the smell of them.
I like the smell of my shoes too. They smell awful. But they're mine. They're my smell. Are yours your smell?
They are my smell, and the smell of the sand and the sea and the top of the mountainside and the forest and my stinky, sweaty, smelly feet.
Yay. I want to know more about where you are.
I am maybe 4 places. I am 5 years old and it has just rained and I am outside in St. Louis on the west side where the oak trees and the maple trees and the mulberry trees have awakened from the rain. And I am at the sea just a month ago, and there's no one but me. And the waves are playing with my feet. And in my imagination, I am sure, they have slowed down to the point where they can greet me and my feet and then pull away. And I am on top of the mountain. And the air is so dry and I smell sage and not sage, what is it? I smell bay trees and eucalyptus and I smell cougar poop. And there's no one but me, and far below me in the valley there is a tiny slither of blue like a snake, but it is a river.
I want to be where you are and not where you are. I want to be everywhere and nowhere and all times and no times, all the time and not at all. That's what I want.
I want to stop singing.
Yeah. I felt it coming to a close and I was like, what do I want?
You know what that sounds like? In the morning, and I don't do it every morning with my yoga, but I try to remember when I feel it, that I need it. When I'm done, almost done, and I go to either salute the sun or I go to stand on one foot, whatever that's called. I imagine the energy going out of that one foot and wrapping around the entire, like vines or like roots, and then I send the energy up through my two hands, up through the top of my head, through my two hands, up to the firmament, through the blue, the light blue, to the stars and the dark blue, and then it just disperses, and I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
And
I could feel that as you were doing it. Because so one of my like usual grounding things, I remember a tweet somebody posed once where she just asked, what is the nature of your magic? And I described mine as like a tree that like sort of has these wide roots. Like I just scooted my chair back to sort of get to it, but like these wide roots and this idea that it sort of comes up through me and out the top of my head, but also out of my chest and my arms and just sort of expands and is everywhere. And I'm having that same feeling that I want that now, but I really like the idea of what you did, having this like all around expansiveness and lateralness that like goes out and comes around and through and up and is everywhere. That feels.
You know what's so beautiful about that, Natasha? Is that I think of like it's kind of like when I think about like we're inadvertently answering the question with what we already know.
Yeah.
Is that we are way more expanded than the idea of whatever made us pray ever. And so when we go to answer the question, we don't answer it from the space of ever being prey. We are only answering it, it seems, from the space of only having ever played.
Yes.
And of our expanded ourselves that are so like everywhere and nowhere and so expanded that we're going beyond where the human capacity to perceive time and to perceive history and prosperity and disparity and stealing and theft and all of that, where any of that has way before and beyond and above and within, where any of that exists. So everywhere and nowhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zelda and Natasha have left the building.
I very much feel like we have. Like, I feel the best way I feel like I can label what we're experiencing right now is a Dr. Manhattan moment. Have you ever?
Tell me.
Okay, so it's the show Watchmen. It's another HBO show, but it just wrapped its first season. And if you know anything about Watchmen at all, it's sort of it's a superhero type of deal, but it takes place in this sort of alternate universe. But another character from the Watchmen universe who factors into the show is called Dr. Manhattan, and he was formerly human, but stepped into a machine that like blew him apart and dispersed all of his atoms and everything out into the universe, and somehow transformed him into something other than human. And over the course of several months, he found all of his atoms and pieces and reassembled himself into essentially this godlike figure who is everywhere and nowhere. And he describes himself as the way I experience time is particularly frustrating for you because I am there and I am here and I am now and I am then and I am And so he's in all of these places all at once. And sort of the paradox of his character is that he knows everything about the world. He can do everything and anything.
Mm-hmm.
And as another Black character in the show puts it, when they're reflecting on him as a person, they say he did not do enough. Because they felt like if you are someone who could change the world, if you are someone who could be everywhere and nowhere and change the course of history, why didn't you save more people? Why haven't you changed, And I think about that weird, the paradox of everywhere and nowhere.
Yeah.
It means you are everything and nothing all at the same time.
Yeah. You know what so while you were describing that, I mean, I'm in the middle of going back and making better structural and like a psychological, emotional, structural sense of a book I just wrote called The Jalia's Bones. Jalia meaning, female holder of the stories. And the book opens with the idea of a seed being carried in a woman's womb as she is trying to escape the atrocity of her own male ancestor having bidded her away for what he thinks is the sake of the tribe, for future to gain something called prosperity. That is a white man's notion. And but it is the beginning of I'll say it's the beginning of something. And then here's the metaphor that is I feel like it's within the book, but it's within what you just said, is the idea of a being, of a race of people being like fractured and scattered in such a way that, so it's the diasporatization of a people.
Yeah.
They are everywhere, but because of the loss of identity, they are nowhere.
Yes.
And then the idea, and I'm getting chills.
Holy fuck. Yeah.
Then the idea that, in sort of a way that there are times where it's like, we call it magic, but there's magic where they feel the wholeness and the one singularity of who they are. In that moment, they can do anything, but they hold it long enough to change the way that things are. Woo!
Because there's so much there about the existence of trauma and what it means to say, fuck that, I'm not going to live in that. But I understand, we talked in our last conversation about how the fears that we have and the pain that we have, how valid all of that is, but how much it is death to us to exist and operate out of those places. We have to find a way. There is a way
to live. We're doing it now, to live more often in the I am everywhere, which is what I ended up writing about, than in the I am getting nowhere with this bullshit kind of reality. But there's the difference of being diasporatized and then being in the space of the intention of the power of that.
Yeah.
You might have accidentally broken this seed into a million pieces, and that might seem like just a sad shame, but the beauty of it is that I did not lose consciousness, so I am everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like if there's any way to tie this moment up and a place to leave this, it's that I want to spend more time in the everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. And that I can as easily be the playful one as I can be the prey and the predator, and which is profound to think about, but it's like you're everywhere.
Yes.
And so when you choose to go and do what must be done, you can choose the who of who you are and make what needs to happen. You can even choose to be nothing and nowhere, or you can be everywhere, and you can be present. You can change the course of the room that you enter, or the society that you enter, with your play, with your brilliance, with everything that you are, because you can choose to do that, because you have been taught that the seed was cracked open a long time ago that scattered you everywhere, and your DNA, you can recollect it whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love when the top of my head tingle.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I've tried to figure out what is my top of my head tingling, because I think I talked last time about the friend that has like the belly burning, and you've talked about like the top of your head tingling. And I think mine is, it's not the top of my head. For me, it's almost like there's something about, oh, that's weird. My image froze as I was doing this. That's wild. So there's something about, I don't know if you saw my fingers go from being closer together to being like open. When something just like expands and you feel the space between opening, and more is coming in and more is being contained. And yeah, like there's this mooring.
I saw like this morphing house. I'm always talking about Clarissa Pinkola Estes, but she brings up the story of Baba Yaga all the time.
Yeah.
Unwieldy house on chicken legs. And I just saw like this house that you're like walking around in, and it's just like the compartments are going and getting more and more room.
Yes. Yes, that's it. That's my thing. But either way, that's knowing, right? Like that's self being like, hey.
You know what?
I love it.
Hey.
Hi. And on that note, thank you again.
Beautiful. Thank you.
This is phenomenal. I love every direction that these collabs go, but this is I stepped so far outside myself in this one. This is exciting. This is exciting.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So,
yeah. This is awesome. It totally expanded. Now my brain is already begun to go into like the next parts of my day, and I will be walking in those parts of my day differently.
Yeah, same.
More with the self that is everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dang.
Yes. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks so much for watching this month's episode of Black Creative Healing. I hope you enjoyed the collaboration with Zelda Lockhart. I know I took so much away from the experience. I do from every collaboration. Every single one is unique. But I really valued the time to just let the experience with Zelda evolve in real time, and shift and change and grow. And it was just so far outside both of our wheelhouses. I feel like it was a really unique experience for both of us in that moment. So thank you for being part of that. I also want to make sure to invite you to check out Zelda's work online and off if you are able. Her website, zeldalockhart.com. Also check out her books, Diamond Doris. That's the memoir of Doris Payne, which Zelda collaborated with Doris in writing. Also check out Zelda's book, The Soul of the Full-Length Manuscript, which relates to a lot of the work that she talked about with her sort of writing midwifery practice of helping women authors process their lives as personal plot. If you're interested in working directly with Zelda, check out herstorygardens.com and the workshops that she has there, the retreats that she has there. I highly, highly recommend working with Zelda. And then for any of her other books or just interest in other things that Zelda has published, check out levinsonpress.com. So coming up in February, it's my birthday month, so we're actually going to be taking the month of February off. I'll be taking a little bit of a break just from sharing episodes. Believe me, we're still filming. I have quite the collection of folks, friends and colleagues that I've known for a long time that we're building collaborations with. I am open to accepting requests for collaborations from folks that I haven't met yet. I will say, though, that part of the reason and the focus and the perk of working with people that I already know and have known for a long time is that my Patreon is still really in its infancy stages of growth. And the relationship that I have with my existing collaborators is such that we can operate on a barter system of me providing arts-based thank you gifts to them at the end of each collaboration. So that's currently how I'm supporting those folks that are supporting me. But as the Patreon grows, I'll have some goals coming out in February that I'm really going to be focusing some energy on promoting. And as the Patreon grows, my hope is to be able to accommodate and support more folks that I might not have had a chance to meet or work with yet. But that needs funding to make happen, to make a reality. So stay tuned for more details on those goals as the month unfolds. Stay tuned for the next episodes of Black Creative Healing. I'm so excited to be continuing and so grateful to be continuing to work with amazing Black creatives and just feeding each other's souls. Through the work that we do. There's so much out there and so much yet to be shared. So thank you once again for being part of this project, and stay tuned. Take care, y'all.